How often you have seen that a man is spraying a perfume and then the girls are coming? How often you have seen that there's a boy or a girl just drinking an energy drink and then you see they can fast, they can run so fast, all of a sudden they're getting good marks. In reality, we all know that actually that is not. But we all get impacted and we go and buy that. Today, I'm going to talk about greenwashing. By the time this video will end, you will understand what exactly this greenwashing is all about, what is the impact it is happening on us as a society, what are the different legal requirements which are there with respect to taking care of greenwashing, and what we can do in society so that we can avoid or minimize the impact of. When we talk about greenwashing, primarily what's the intent? When we talk about greenwashing, the intent is that there are so many ads in the newspaper, in social media, which are talking about certain things that we are green, or we are using eco-friendly colors, we are using organic food, or maybe we are using recycled material, or we are doing something for the sustainable future. But in reality, they are doing nothing about it, or they are doing very little about it. But the way they communicate, the way they propagate, it looks like they are very good, and people buy those products more and more, which actually the same. So this is called greenwashing. Now, when we talk about greenwashing, that also brings another importance, right? That how it is impacting the society in different. So the first and the foremost is customer deception. Times it happens that we think that somebody is using recyclable material and then another company who is not using it, so let me go for this particular company. Or you are little bit having some nudge to go for that company. So for example, there can be some ad like our packaging is made from 100% recyclable material. Very recently, there was an ad or a communication with respect to a company called Fizzy. They were making water and they are claiming that we are carbon negative. But when the actual details were checked, it was specified that in near future that is going to happen, not at the moment. This is the way in which they are planning. Then another impact with respect to the greenwashing is with respect to telling the people about the real sustainable efforts which actually are not. There are many companies who are sincere, who are doing something for sustainability, to improving certain things, but they are slow. But there are certain companies who are just claiming that they are very fast and they have done something really great. So, for example, some companies say that go green with our parts. Very recently, Cola had one advertisement where they were talking about world without waste. Now there they were propagating that they are minimizing the use of plastic, but actually they are one of the biggest polluter with respect to the plastic and the single use of plastic. Then third, very important impact is with respect to eroding the trust, because when a consumer is buying a product, they are assuming that they are buying something which is good for the society, which is helping the society in some way, and which is improving the universe overall. So, for example, you must have seen the ad like energy efficient technology for a greener tomorrow, but actually, whether it is happening like that. Like some time back, decided to use paper straw instead of the plastic straw. But when it was analyzed, it was found that those paper straws were actually not recyclable. So means whatever claims are there that we are eco-friendly, maybe actually they are not that much true, how much they are saying. Then apart from that, it is for the environmental harm. Like there's a claim that made with minimal impact to the environment, but actually is it true or not? That becomes another concern. So for example, claim that for their plastic material, we are plastic neutral. Well, the claim is right, but when it was checked, it was found that the impact is very low at the moment, but the way in which it was communicated, it was looking actually they have become plastic neutral. Maybe in future they can become. Similarly, there are many different impacts with respect to that. Say, for example, with respect to the legal requirements. You must have heard there are many organizations which are claiming as if they are following all the legal requirements. Like certain companies say that our energy efficient light bulbs outperform all others. And then they're selling. Actually, it's not so. You must be remembering that in 2015, Volkswagen used to sell the efficient diesel cars, which were telling that they are very less with respect to the emission norm. Later, it was found that actually it is not so, and there was some data that was lost. So it means there are many ways in which this greenwashing is impacting the society. So that brings another important aspect, that what can we do with respect to that? Are there any legal requirements or guidelines? So there are many actually, which has been come very recently. So for example, in India, in 2024, they come up with a guideline. They are talking something with respect to that, what they call it as prevention and regulation of greenwashing or misleading environmental claims. So therein they are talking about that what are the do's and don'ts. Then, when we talk about European Union, they call it Green Claim Directive. When we talk about US, they call it Federal Trade Commission Green Guides, and something similar to the UK also. And then there is a standard called ISO 14021, which came in 2016. There is an amendment which came in the year 2021, and hopefully in 2026 there will be another version. So this particular standard is talking about the do's and don'ts, how the organizations can talk about sustainability, what are the right way of propagating it, and what they should not involve. And similarly, there are many things. Now that brings another interesting question, that what we can do now with respect to the greenwashing. So we continue with the way in which things are happening, or there can be certain ways in which there can be certain things. So let me share something with you. The first and the foremost important thing is transparency. That whatever organizations are, whatever companies are propagating about them, about their product or services, whether they are true or not, there should be some fact with that. So, for example, a company is saying that I'm using recyclable material, then it is required that either there should be a detail that why they are saying this. Maybe there can be a QR code which we can scan, or maybe there are URL ID which we can go and then we can see that whatever claims they are saying, whether actually it is true. Then another way in which it can be taken is by having a third party certification. By doing that, by having a party which is independent, then they can actually see that whatever they are claiming with respect to sustainability, whatever they are trying to portray to the outside world that how good they are, actually they can be taken care of. Then another interesting way in which it can be done is by avoiding using a vague language. There should be some measurable way in which something can be done. Like, for example, when we go to a market, often when we see the organic food, we think that we should take it because it is good for the, how much we are sure that actually it is organic food, how much we are sure that whatever money they are charging, the additional money they're charging, whether actually it is really worth or not. So we should avoid using the vague language and we should always demand the justified. Then another way in which it can be done is with respect to educating the consumers and having the regulatory, because the more people are aware, the people are going to question. Say, for example, same thing with respect to the organic food. What is the evidence that it is an organic food? What is the background from where it is coming? Can you show something? When we start questioning, when we start asking the right question, there is a high possibility. So if I do a summary, I talked about what exactly is greenwashing all about. Then I also talk about what are the real challenges that industry is facing with respect to greenwashing, and what are the legal guidelines or the standards which are there with respect to that, and what as an individual, as a society, we can do with respect to making sure that we can avoid or minimize greenwashing. My next video will again be something with sustainability. Definitely, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they are helping me to understand your expectations. Please do continue. In case you want to understand a little bit more about it, you can find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog. You find this information. In case you're liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, Bhavya Mangla. Thank you.